The 417Gamers is a group of board, tabletop, and card gamers in the 417 area code. This is the podcast. Welcome to the 417Gamer Podcast, episode 41, the one with Geekway 2025. In the 4, Andrea and I discuss 4 games that we've been enjoying recently. We talk about Tacta from the Op. We talk about our favorite game so far of the year, Moon Colony Bloodbath. We talk Tabriz from Crafty Games, and we talk about Duck and Cover. In the 1 topic of the show, we talk about Geekway 2025. We loved it. We'll give you some details. And in the 7, we'll talk about 7 of our favorite moments of Geekway 2025. Now onto the show. Welcome to the 417Gamer Podcast. My name's Rick.
And I'm Andrea.
In the 4, we like to talk about 4 games that we've been playing recently. And we alluded to the previous episode, we've been playing a lot. We're recording this before Geekway to the West. We will just be coming back when this drops. And before then, we played so many games.
All of the games.
All the games.
We always do. All brand new to us, mostly, too.
Yeah, new games, old games.
Play-to-win game.
What do we want to talk about first?
Let's talk about one of the newer games to our collection, Tacta.
Tacta. So, Tacta is a 2023 release from the Op, or USA Op League. Tacta is designed by Jason Tremblay, and I don't see that the artist was credited, but there's not a lot of art here. They're different color cards.
Yeah.
6 different colors. There's like blue, red, yellow, pink, green, purple. The game is kind of... it's area control-esque.
It reminds me of dominoes with cards.
Yeah, each card has a design and dots. You place your card, and with its design, it has to line up with another card without overlapping a second or third card. It can only cover one card.
Yeah.
And it can only cover in the design that it completely matches.
Yeah.
And once it's covered, then you go playing around. In theory, you're trying to cover up your opponent's card's dots with your card, because at the end of the game, once all the cards have been played, you count up how many dots are visible for each player.
Yeah.
And whoever has the most dots visible wins. The rules are pretty simple. I thought it was really fun. And you and me played 2-player a couple times.
Yep.
And then we played
5-player, and it played amazing.
Yeah, I thought it played excellent. And
yeah.
It got to a point where it was hard to track who was in the lead unless you just sat there and counted all the dots.
Right.
Which we try and keep a fast pace to where there's no min-max or anything like that. And then the person we thought was kicking our butts, turns out the quiet person had sneaked ahead and beat everybody by like 15 dots.
I think this one will stay in our collection because it is a family weight game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it is also fiddly enough that puzzle, you could have it in a heavy gamer circle and you could still have an enjoyable time, in my opinion. The only drawback of this game is because it is cards, as you're overlapping the cards, you put down, you've got this connected grid, basically. If you bump it, the cards move.
Yeah.
And that's the only bad thing about it. You just have to be very careful.
So if you have that OCD thing where things aren't placed exactly precise after you did it.
Lined up just right.
Yeah.
That's the only drawback.
All right, that was Tacta. What's our next game?
Moon Colony Bloodbath.
So, Moon Colony Bloodbath was a surprise for us. That was our favorite, our surprise of the month for April.
Yeah.
We played this at OzCon. CJ did a great job running Oz, or his people. He said he stepped back a little bit. He was more of a presidential role.
Yeah.
Reached out to their charities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we played with Chris, and Chris came down from Colombia.
Oh, Colombia, yes.
He came down from Colombia, and he brought a bag of games. And he said, you want to play Moon Colony Bloodbath? And looking on the surface, it's got like some 50s, 60s sci-fi kitschy art. And it doesn't look like much.
But it was released this year.
Yeah, it's by Rio Grande Games. It's designed by Donald X. Vaccarino of Dominion fame, also Kingdom Builder. And it's a game not too dissimilar from Galaxy Trucker in the fact that when bad things happen, they happen to everybody. Mm-hmm. So in Moon Colony Bloodbath, everybody starts out with a moon colony. And each round, you're going to play an event card off the deck, and everybody's going to hopefully do something positive with that. Problem is, there's bad events that come up. So when you come up, and the guy that was teaching us, Chris, he said, the best thing you can hope for is work. You get to go to work the next day. He said, that's the best thing you're going to hope for. So we start playing, and then we get an event that pops up that a robot goes in. I'm like, okay, what's a robot? And it's like security robot. Security robot is automated. It finds whoever has the most built buildings on their moon colony base, and it kills that many people for all moon colony bases.
Yeah, even if you only have one building built, you're still going to lose 5 if your neighbor has 5.
Yeah. And so then you have one that was like hackers or paperwork, something like that, where you lose people. People die because the paperwork was wrong.
Right.
And there was some cards that you could build through the work phase that would help you mitigate or absolutely duck some of the problems.
Right.
The bad thing is, if you have to kill people and there's not enough people at your moon base to kill people, you have to destroy a building, but then you get those people from that building, because it has a person, a population cost on it, those come back to your moon base. But those people are probably going to die too. The end of the game happens one of two ways. Either you get to the end of the deck that says you survived, and our teacher of the game, Chris, said he'd never seen that happen. Or when one person completely runs out of people, period. Then you're done, and you go to whoever has the highest population left.
Right.
It was funny. It was kitschy. We enjoyed it.
We laughed. We cried. We killed some people.
So we've talked about Empire's End on here several months back by John DeClaire, and it's a game where everybody has 12 some odd cards, and you're trying to play a game of chicken of who's going to ruin their empire but get the resources. Mm-hmm. But it's a game where one person each round is going to get hit. And it's a feeling where when we were done, I thought it was great. But we had enough people and our friends that were boo-boo faced walking away from it. I was like, that sucked. I just watched my whole empire just crumble the whole game. In this, everybody's laughing with each other. I'm like, oh, we all got hit robots. Or there was you had to check the airlocks. And whenever you check the airlocks, 2 people got out. Yeah.
And they're gone.
So it was cute. It was funny. They've had one print run so far, and I can't find it in stock anywhere. Yeah. I can find it used, or I can find some scalpers on the market selling it for double the cost.
Right.
So we're going to keep our eye out for a second print run, maybe.
Yeah.
And we might add this to our collection. And that, I don't know if that says, I mean, that is one thing on the game, but Chris did a great job teaching.
He did. It was very enjoyable.
We have another Chris game that we played with him, too. Tabriz. Go ahead.
Oh, this game I thought was a lot like Istanbul.
Kind of had the same theme.
Yeah, you've got marketplaces that you're going to. Each place has different resources that you get, and then you're trying to fulfill basically order cards.
Yeah. You got different cloths. You got red cloths, yellow cloths, blue cloths, white cloths.
Yeah.
And you're trading them in, trading them up and down. And you have 3 workers. They can move up to 3 spaces. You can buy stuff. You can trade stuff. And then you have your orders that you were talking about and you can fulfill. This is designed by Randy Flynn. The artist was Symphony, and it was published by Crafty Games. Mm-hmm. The production quality was great.
It was. The little cubes, the mat. It was all great.
Yeah. The player board was dual layered, or at least it had punch outs. Mm-hmm. To where you put the cubes in there that would seat.
Right.
That you went to go get. And all the cubes signified the different resources. And then it had metal money. The metal money looked so nice.
It did.
I liked it, but when we were done, if somebody had it and wanted to play it, I'd absolutely play it again. But for our collection, I think we're going to stick to Istanbul probably.
Very, very similar mechanics.
Yeah, similar feel, absolutely. And then last but not least, Andrea.
Duck and cover! Quick, hurry!
Duck and cover. Duck and cover. Where is it? I had it pulled up. Come on.
This was another light family weight card game that we played at the family barbecue. The best part about this is all of us, we played. Well, your uncle brought it, and he brought 2 copies.
Yeah.
And he combined them so it could play up to, I think he said 12 to 15.
14.
Oh, yeah.
Because each game can play 7.
Yes. And so we're all around. We put a couple tables together. You lay down your cards in a 4x3 grid, and he is the captain. And basically, he's calling out different number cards, and you pick up a card and you cover up another card. The person with the lowest points at the end of 3 rounds is the winner, because you don't want points. Each card has a different point value, so you're trying to cover up higher point cards with lower point cards. If everyone has already covered up a number and he calls it out bingo style, everybody quacks like a duck if you don't have that card available. And so it's funny to have all these 50-year-old people around the whack.
Mama's giggling, because she came in late and she played the second round.
She's like, "What are you guys doing?" We're all just sitting there, quack.
Was that a total quack or is that just partial quack?
Because if everyone quacks, meaning they don't have that number showing to be able to move that card, then 4 of those and the game's over.
We played at 7.
Yeah.
So that changed depending on player count, how many quacks you can hit. And that's a full quack. You take that number and you put it out there in the tableau and people can see it. Yeah. So there's 2 ways that a round ends. Either one person has gotten all their cards to a single stack, or you hit the amount of quacks that player count. So if you're playing 4 players, you need 6 or 7 quacks. Mm-hmm. But for us playing 7, you needed 4 quacks. So if you have 4 card calls where everybody no longer has that card available, then the round ends. Yeah. And then you get points for each of the stacks. And the points vary from 0 to 5. Your 1 card is worth 0. Your 12 card is worth 5. And I had lots of points. I was very good at getting points. But there's 7 different decks.
Well, if you're the first player to get down to just 1 card showing, those are negative points. Yeah. So if you have one of those 5 point cards showing, you have negative 5 points, which is great because you want the lowest score. And that's what you were trying to do, but you always got caught.
Well, because the first game, I had 3 piles. I had a 2, a 3, and a 2. So I already had 7 points. At that point, we had somebody that had 1 after the first round.
Yeah.
There's nothing for me to do but try and go for the negative points. I mean, in my head, I was like, I already lost this. So how hard is it to go 1 pile? And while I was trying to go 1 pile, I saw 2 people go 1 pile. Although they had -2 and -3. I was like, I'm trying to do it, and I'm watching you guys. It was fun. It's very easy family weight game. Designed by Usama Kalafati and published by Captain Games. It was released in 2024. So that was the 4 and the 417Gamer podcast. Why don't we go on to the next topic, the 1.
The 1.
We want to shout out to Rio Grande Games. Thank you very much, Jay Tomlinson, for sending games to Moon City Con. Rio Grande publishes my favorite game in Concordia, designed by Matt Gertz. They also have some other games. Woodcraft by Vladimir Suchi. Free Ride from Friedman Fries. And Dominion is a loved game in the 417Gamer group that is designed by Donald X. Vaccarino. Check out their brand new game, Moon Colony Bloodbath. That is me and Andrea's current game of the year. Check out RioGrandeGames.com or contact your friendly local game store and get your Rio Grande game. Andrea, you and I went to Geekway to the West up in St. Louis. Well, St. Charles, technically, the St. Charles Convention Center. I had a great time.
is always a great time.
Right. So, we went up there and we got an Airbnb. It was right off it was like, 3 to 5 minute drive?
Yes, it was
depending
extremely
on
close.
If we hit the one light. Yeah, it was a roundabout to a light to a stop sign that was it. Mm-hmm. And then back was similar.
We decided this year to go with an Airbnb because we went up with another couple, Alan and Sarah, and it was Sarah's very first convention.
Yes, and I thought she was a trooper. She likes gaming, but she's not been subjected, I shall say, to the other three of us making her play games for 4 straight days. Now, Alan ended up having to work through the Thursday, so they didn't get there till Friday. So they got 3 straight days of games.
Yeah. But where we stayed, it was a condo type townhouse, and there were 4 units, and I know for a fact that one of the neighbors to us was also there for Geekway because we saw them coming out the same time we were with their lanyards on.
Yeah, it said, "Sup, nerds?" and they ignore me and say, "Hey, what was the best game you played, nerds?" And they look around like, "Oh, you're gaming too?" I'm like, "Yeah." So. I forgot what they said.
What their favorite game was. Yes, I don't remember what they said.
It might have been Galactic Cruise. That was huge. That was going around everybody. It was a longer, heavier game, but everybody that likes their Crunchy Euros, that was the game everybody was trying to play. There was a few others, but that was kind of the game.
Right. However, next year we plan to stay on site if we can.
If we can. We need to get in that raffle and buy the early ticket and
get our hotel reservations made.
It was, I feel like we turned in early a couple of the nights because we had to drive.
Right.
But
yeah.
It was at the St. Charles Convention Center, it's a Hilton property. It took place May 15th through the 18th, and it was a great time. It always is. Their staff run a good convention.
If you live in the Midwest, I definitely recommend going at least once if you can. Of course, you have to go to Moon City Con.
Well, yeah, that's ours. And we'll talk about that next episode.
But if you also can go to Geekway and it's within your budget, we recommend.
So many good events that they do. We participate. We didn't get to do any tournaments this year, but last year we did the Bonanza tournament. We did some other game we did a few tournaments. You signed us up. It was a good time.
Yeah.
I usually like doing Battling Tops. I didn't do it this year.
I wanted to do the Crokinole tournament, but it was full by the time I got ready to sign up.
Yeah. We did the flea market. We always do. And we came out of there with a bag full of games when I was like, hey, we don't need this, blah, blah, blah. Then some guy, and so the flea market takes place on Sunday. And it's a 2-hour event. And I've told you I don't like going through the first hour. Because the first hour, everybody's trying to
get their best prices on their items.
Yes. It's not just the best prices, but there's a line that forms from the
It's packed. It's just packed.
And it goes down and around, down the escalator. And it's like, I don't need that crush of people. Because there's nothing new and shiny that they're going to have. Because we're not the Kickstarter chasers. If there's a Kickstarter we missed, we'll try and get it on the retail if possible. We missed the Fromage Italy, apparently. So we're going to try and see if our friendly local game store will pick it up. So we can get that and put it in with our fromage. Because I like fromage.
Yeah. And
I wouldn't mind the extra withers. But... you know, people have the all-in, Witcher, or the all-in Slay the Spire. I don't need that. What I do like is the second hour.
The desperation to unload your goods at any means possible.
Because it's a lot. Those are the people that are trying to cull their collection down. Either they bought too much and the wife is like, you better not come home with any more games. Or... they realize their gaming room is a tornado of confusion, and they need to clear out some space so they can at least make heads or tails or what they got. We get close every now and again.
Yeah.
But as of this, we've culled, I want to say 35 games. My New Year's resolution was get 30 before June.
And you did it.
We got to 25 or 27 by the Metagames Flea Market, which was back in March or April. And then we donated some games to the Moon City Con Care silent auction. And next episode, we'll talk about how well that did. We hope it went well.
Yeah.
And, but going through there, one of the guys just had a rack of free games. He lived in Nebraska, and he's like, I don't want to take these with me. And there's a game that's out of print. I grabbed Voluspa. That was published by Stronghold Games. It's a tile-line game. I think you would really like it.
Yeah.
Picked it up, and I said, free? He goes, yeah, free, take it. Get rid of it. I don't want it. I was like, here's $5. Thanks for doing that. Thanks for all the other people you can give them free games. He's like, you don't have to give it to me. I'm like, I get it. Getting rid of games and getting them on the cheap. Here's $5. Thank you. So he's like, all right. It's two Midwest nice people trying to out-nice each other. No, you. Yeah, I'm the person at the stop sign. If I'm not positive I was first, I let the other people go, and it drives some people nuts. I get it. That's all right. The food. This is the first year we've taken the trolley from the convention center. It takes you about a 5-7 minute drive to St. Charles, to their little restaurant district. Got some shopping, some restaurants. We went to P.F. Chang's one time. We went to some Black and Grill place that was really good.
I guess I didn't realize it runs every 15 minutes back and forth between their little shopping district and the convention center, and it's completely free.
Yeah.
Every 15 minutes until midnight, I think, was the cutoff. Totally free. Lots of people taking advantage of it, too. Our little shuttle bus was completely full.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a wonderful service provided by the convention.
So we used that, and the gentleman that was our driver one of the nights was being taken off of our route to go work a concert. And I said, are you going to make more on that? And then we heard over the radio, he's like, yeah, your rate of pay is not going to change, but we think there's a better chance at tips and gratuities. And I said, what concert is it? And he goes, I don't know. And I said, depending on the music, are some people better tippers than others? He goes, yep. And I said, so we don't know what you're getting into? Nope. So I gave him a nice little tip for driving us. He was a nice guy. He was talking about his games he liked to play, but bless his heart, they were mass market. And he's like, oh, I got this Monopoly. I got all the Monopolies from my childhood.
Actually, it was pretty impressive, his collection of games he still has from the 70s and 80s.
He has all of his electronic games from his childhood, all of his Nintendo, Super Nintendo. They all work. He's got all the games. He still plays them. Mm-hmm. I think he's a gentleman that was probably in his, 60s?
Yeah, his proudest thing he had was a complete Thomas the Train working train track with the engine with the little smoke that came out. And he's like, and, the kids always want to play with it. And I'm like, no, that's for me.
Yeah, that's me. That's mine.
Don't break it.
So we had a great time there. Andrea, why don't we go on to the 7 and talk about 7 things and memorable things from Geekway?
Let's do it.
Have you heard of We Teach Wednesdays at Village Meeple? Andrea and I partnered with Jess at Village Meeple. We did a We Teach Saturday event at Moon City Con, but that was inspired by their own event. Every Wednesday, Village Meeple picks a game they want to teach you. Want to find out what's on deck from them? Go to their website at villagemeeple.com, find out the game, go out there and learn. They're fantastic teachers. And if you're lucky, maybe they have it in stock and you can take it home. That's villagemeeple.com. In the 7, we like to talk about usually our favorite 7 things, but for Geekway, let's just talk about 7 memorable things from Geekway. Mm-hmm. Andrea, let's start off with number 1. Just this isn't really an order of most or anything. It's just some memorable items.
Yeah. a cute little story that I remember. We have lots of friends from the Springfield area that go up to Geekway, and we saw David from Board Game Famous podcast.
Yeah, friend of the podcast with another podcast.
Yeah, and he was there with his children, and one of the things in the giant gaming hall that they have is free water crafts that you can just go up and use the spigot to get water. But it's a pretty big container. And apparently they had to make an announcement over the intercom that people were using their dirty water bottles to scoop water out of the top.
Instead of the spigots.
And we're all like, gross, ew, boo, shame. And then as we were walking out with him one day, his little girl, who is in preschool, she points to the water and she goes, "Remember, don't put your cup in the fish tank." It was adorable.
Oh, he's got a cute little kid. 2, Moon Colony Bloodbath. We talked about it from OzCon. It was our surprise game of April.
It was in the Play to Win library of Geekway.
It was. They had 2 copies. They were constantly out.
I saw another couple playing it, and I was like, "May I please give you my phone number? And when you're ready to check this back into the library, will you text me so I can stalk you up there and check it back out?"
This was the friendliest con for that I've ever seen, because there was several people looking for games. Mm-hmm. That Galactic Cruise I talked in the previous segment was one of them. So was Moon Colony Bloodbath. There was a few others. There was a cute animal game. I don't remember what it was, but that was tracked down quite a bit.
And like every other year we've been there, they have this huge Play to Win library.
Yeah, they do a
and
great job
you
of it.
can always find games in there. But there were certain ones that we were looking to play that we had on our radar.
But Moon Colony Bloodbath, I already knew how to play it, so I got to teach it 3 times. I got to play 2 of those 3 teaches. So our friends up in around the Urbana, Ebenezer area, and towards Lake of the Ozarks, they were up there. Got to play some games with them. Don't get to play with them as much.
Yeah.
They're working and moving around the U.S., driving, delivering, all that good stuff. Great time. Played that. Then Alan and Sarah, our friends, they came up. We got to teach them. Mm-hmm. We had a good time with that. And then the last day, I'm sitting there, or I'm watching, and I'm seeing 2 people. They're just kind of frustrated on the setup, and they're like, I saw them. I looked like they were about to put it back up, and I said, "Would you like somebody to teach you?" And she goes, "Do you know it?" And I said, "Absolutely." She goes, "What do you think?" And I said, "It's my favorite game of the year so far." She's like, "Oh yeah, teach us." So I sat down, started teaching, and then our friends, the Batsells, that come to Moon City Con every year, they walked by and they're like, "Hey, we've been looking to play this too. You talked it up so much." And I asked the 2 ladies, I said, "Would you mind a couple more?" And they said, "Absolutely not." Mm-hmm. So they stopped in. I set them up. I got them through, and I taught them and got them through the first 3 generations. And then I walked away and found out that poor Raymond, his people all died. And I said, "Who won?" He goes, "I don't remember. I just remember all my people were gone." Number 3, Andrea.
Well, that also was the weekend that the tornado came through St. Louis.
And hit the zoo.
Yes, and it went through a residential area. 6 people passed away, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's terrible.
But we knew the storm was coming through, and they did a fantastic job of keeping us informed. They had several people doing nothing but watching the radar. They, hours before the storm actually hit, were giving us instructions on if the storm was to come our way, what parts of the convention center were storm shelters for us to go into. I felt completely safe. Normally when storms are coming, I'm always on my phone watching.
Yeah, you're weather aware.
And I felt completely safe. They had everything under control. There was no... They kept us all calm. And
yeah, they had some, funny anecdotes. Hey, here in the Ozarks, if you do what I do and you hear the tornado siren, you go grab a drink and go sit on the porch and wait for it to come your way. We're not going to do that here. If
We're
the tornado
be
sirens
safe.
and we think we have an emergency, we're going to be safe. and here's the locations you guys please go to. And we have a Barry dog that's bored of our conversation. He'll have to get over it for just a few more minutes, and then he'll get his pets.
Yeah.
But they did a great job keeping everybody informed.
I was very impressed.
Yeah. Number 4, great deals at the vendor hall. That's on you.
Yes. So I seem to have a buying streak going every time we go up to Geekway. Last year, of course, our big purchase was our Crokinole board. This year...
Speaking of, they had an amazing board that they gave away.
Yes, for the first year, they were doing a raffle giveaway. Anyone who came in and played a demonstration for Crokinole was entered into a beautiful Lord of the Rings
Sauron
painted Crokinole board. It was stunning. And so we did not win, unfortunately.
No.
But it was just gorgeous. But also in the vendor area, there was Miniature Market is a big supporter of Geekway.
They sure
because
are.
they're located up there in St. Louis. And they had some stunning deals on games. They had, I would say probably about 150 different games. Probably 40% of them were on really deep discounts.
Yeah.
They had the several versions of Pandemic, like the North American Pandemic small Hot Zone game for, I believe it was $8. They probably had 10 or 15 games for $2 or less. So I'm basically Ricky's standing there with his arms out, and I'm just like, we'll take this and this and this. I came home with probably 35 games just from the vendor area. All wonderful games that we think either we will play or we will use as Christmas gifts to people that we know that love games.
Heck, maybe we'll give some away at Moon City Con.
I think that's a great idea,
and,
too.
You know, I say, it's from the 417Gamer podcast, because, that's us.
Also, in the vendor room across the hall from the vendor area, for the first time ever, they had an indie publishing vendor room.
Is that number 5 or number 6?
That is number 6.
Number 6, yes, the indie publishing room. So usually there's some small publishers that go there, but the booths in the main hall are pricey. So not all the indie publishers can afford something like that. Mm-hmm. So they had a room that sometimes they used for quiet gaming, but it wasn't used very much. So instead this year, as you said, they used that for some indie publishers, and we got SRG, the wrestling game, and there were several others. They tried to sell us on a pirate game. There's another table that tried to sell us on a what was it, a barbarian game, something with sharks.
They also were there to demo and teach their games as well. So it was more than just a vendor area where you buy games. They were showing off their creations, happy to teach, had everything set up for you to do a quick playthrough of their games. Very nice addition this year for the first year.
Absolutely. Good guys trying to, show you their love of the hobby and what their creation was. And, push their company a little bit more.
Unfortunately, I skipped over our number 5, which was gaming with our friends.
Oh, yeah. 417 Gamers used to go up there thick. Used to be 20, 30 large. And now we've kind of fractured a little bit, and there's some different cons. Because there's quite a few. Back whenever we were rolling up thick, it was pre-pandemic. The spring wasn't littered with cons as it is right now. So Geekway was usually about 3 to 5 weeks from anything else, Dice Tower, Origins, anything. But we rolled up there and played with friends and take it away.
We have made friends with people from several different cities that we recognize now when we go up. which works out great for us because we don't always get there right as they open.
Yeah.
And we have a certain set of friends that is what they do. They get there very early, like 6 a.m., and they get the best table close to the Play to Win library. So they always save us a couple seats, and that's always very nice because Geekway is, I don't know what their max capacity is, but they are very close, in my opinion, to being a sellout convention.
Yeah.
Pretty much every single table is taken. There's 2 floors, and we normally only game on the first floor because that is where the Play to Win library is, and that's what we do primarily. But there is a second floor with more games available, gaming area available. But we took a couple up with us for the first time, Alan and Sarah. It was Sarah's very first convention of any kind. And she was a really trooper, like you said. She's not a heavy gamer, but she will learn any game. I think we played maybe 6 games that were brand new to her, and she caught on really quick to all of those, which was it makes it fun to play with people that when it's the first game and they're like, "Hey, that's really cool."
Yeah, and we rotated on who picked games. Well, we have an ice cream man driving by, and Barry's very excited. He's not going to get ice cream, I'm sorry.
No.
He doesn't need it. We don't need it. But yeah, they were great. We rotated around. We played Push Push Penguins. We played Northwest, which was a cool little cube resource gathering weird movement game. Mm-hmm. It was interesting. It was fun. We played Party Panda Pirates, which was like Mario Party on a board game. Tons of little mini games, and then you're trying to collect stars or pirate chests instead of stars on a generic Candyland style board.
Mm-hmm. We played. Was it Flip Captain?
Yep.
Or Captain Flip that we played. We didn't realize.
Flip Captains? We
didn't realize we checked it out and we really liked it. Yeah. It was a really good game. And then after we got home, we were watching the Tom Vassell special.
Dice Tower, yeah.
And apparently it was the Spiel de Jaro, one of those Spiel.
I think it was a nominee. It might
nominee.
Have won, but it's at least a nominee.
Yeah, along with Flip 7, which we were also very familiar with. So yeah, we're like, hey, we played that game. So some really new stuff always available in their Play to Win library.
Last but not least, our number 7 memorable moment from Geekway has to be our Airbnb. So we got the townhouse. The townhouse itself was nice. It was cozy.
Mm-hmm. The location we couldn't beat.
Right.
3-minute drive to the convention center.
The thermostat we couldn't work. And the fridge would not keep anything cold.
Those were 2 definite drawbacks. Because we went up with the other couple, we shared with them. We thought the thought was that we would play games with them there at the Airbnb, which we did play 1 game.
Yeah.
But then we ended up spending the rest of the time at the convention center. So I think next time we'll stay on site in the hotel.
So?
Yes.
Well, that was the 7 from the 417Gamer podcast. Catch us if the recording and all that happens. We'll see you next time, June 20th. And we'll be coming back from Moon City Con.
Yes, Moon City.
And I hope it was great.
It's going to be great. You know it is.
Right. The scary part is Andrea and I pulled away from organizing because we got married. We had a honeymoon. We did some house improvements. Mm-hmm. We also went on a destination wedding for one of our friends. So we pulled back because we had a whole bunch of life with us. So Moon City Con this year
is Ben and Catherine and Brian and Leandra. And so, all the people that are excited and say, "Oh, can you?" I'm excited too. I want to see what they do.
Yeah.
But until then, keep gaming.
And the 417.
Hey guys, Metagames Unlimited is Southwest Missouri's friendly local game store of choice. Large play space, great board game selection, magic cards, Warhammer, paint, supplies, everything you could want for gaming. The 417 Gamers and we usually are out every Thursday night from 6 to close playing them games, teaching them up. Come out and play games with us. Also, check out some of the events that they run in town. On Wednesdays, they have Commander Night at Everyday Tie. Check their Facebook at mguinc.com or go over to the Facebook page, facebook.com/MetaGamesUnlimited, or on Instagram at meta_games_unlimited.
The 417 Gamer podcast is recorded and produced by Andrea and Rick Bagwell. The intro music we use, Kind, Gentle, Beautiful Person, and the outro music, Making Up for Last Time, was created by Origami Replica. For links to our show notes, music, and guest links, head over to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Hobby Gaming Network. Until next time, keep gaming in the 417.